Greetings, minions of Internet Land. Robust Enigma here, and I'm coming at you with something a little bit different than what I normally put up. But I'm enjoying filming my life and the things that I'm doing, so here it is. Sorry if you can hear my neighbors in the background. Sounds like a young person is having a birthday party. All of a sudden, I woke up with a bounce house in our front yard. It was quite interesting. Anyways, I digress. So right here you can see me with the guard down. Just this is the first time I've actually run the weed whip. I really do wish I had a face shield at this point. You'll see in later videos that I become a little more safety conscious and then a little less safety conscious as I become familiar with the tool. But this brush was overgrown for probably about 2 years worth. But here in New York, since we get a really rough winter, it died off really well. So, something happened here with the auto feeder and the spool, where I ended up having to take it apart, re-tighten the spool, and re-thread the twine. But all of these pieces of video are sped up to 233%, mainly because that's a Fibonacci number and it's something easy for me to remember. So a little over double speed. Now, as you can see here, I've got full body coverage, except for my face. I even went glove happy. But I suppose going smart would have been also to take my allergy medicine, because I'm still actually nursing a sinus infection I got from all of the debris. But that's okay. It's well worth it. So, the assembly comes apart pretty easy. It only goes back in one way. You just have to make sure the spring and the spool go together properly. And you're off to the races. Now, something I didn't show earlier is this throttle switch. It's like a, I don't know, I guess you could call it a dial. I don't really know what they're considered, but it goes from 1 to 6, and it's how fast the spool spins. I'll say spool just for lack of a better term, but you can see I'm able to even take out some larger scale stuff on a slower setting. In total, I ended up weed whipping on the same battery for about, I want to say this was originally 45 minutes worth to an hour on 6. So we changed angles here, going, this is the back of my mother's house, and I'm just really trying to take down as much as possible. I'm not really worried about accuracy or anything. I'm just trying to clear as much mass as possible. I'm finding that if I tilt the weed whip slightly to the left, I get a really good cut while it being able to keep that guard down. And honestly, I don't have much experience running weed whips, but I figure multi-tool, use it as a hedge trimmer too. So this is the backside porch, I guess you could call it, and it really was overgrown. A couple years back there was a big old wasp's nest under one of those corners, and oh, they got me good. So I was a little nervous coming up into here, but I figured, heck, if I got stung by a bee, at least it would make for good YouTube videos. So if you don't watch a lot of hobbyists and crafters on YouTube, this probably seems like a very odd video, but I pull a lot of inspiration from people like Jimmy DeRessa, where you know, that sped up just filming my daily existence. Just makes me feel a little complete. Makes life feel like it's worth doing, having that creative expression in there. And here you can really see I'm using the weed whip as a hedge trimmer. So, out of the norm, but hey, it worked. The hedge that I'm trimming is a little out of frame, but you can still see it's just turning that bush into salad. I don't think it would be a very tasty salad, but salad nonetheless. Back when I was a kid, we had a pool set up, and this bush, there used to be a little alcove cut into it, and that used to be where we'd go pee, so we didn't have to go into the house all wet. We'd run to the pea tree, and we'd go into the bush and urinate. I thought this was just a cool shot. I don't know what that weed's called, but oh, I loved it. Loved the way it just rattled around, I guess. This Black Decker weed whip is a beast for being battery powered. I wanted to get something that I didn't have to worry about combustion motors and spark plugs and oil and pull cords, and just wanted something that I'd be able to pick up, go for a half hour to 45 minutes, and then get the new battery and let the dead one charge. You know, I'm a bigger guy, so taking breaks is really important for me. I don't want to be too strenuous on my body while I'm getting back into being active. I'd hate to overdo it, and I fear that being able to just refuel and just keep going forever would lead to me going forever, and eventually I'd beat myself up so much that the recovery time would make me not want to keep going. Now these are, the tank on the left is propane, the tank on the right is fuel oil. That propane tank is actually going to be removed here sometime in the near future, as my mom no longer uses propane. We're getting her switched over to electric because gas is dead and or dying. The future is now, and it's time to stop leaning on the crutch that is fuel oil. Now right there I showed off that the battery was dead, and but it kept going. It kept going great. And it kept going like a champ, and just made this happy little fuel oil tank even happier with all the brush gone. Yeah, so I was a little nervous weed whipping up on top of the tank, but I wanted to clear out as much of that brush as possible because we were getting some water lines run. So I wanted to make sure that the contractor had ample access to under the house from the back and the side, because my mother's house is actually an old double wide that was technically converted into a ranch because it had a full foundation put in and an addition built on the back side of it. So this is the other side of that pea tree, the urination bush, just clearing it up for the front yard. And at this point I was just waiting for this battery to die. I mean, I just kept going. This is on the cement slab out near my workshop, and it's still going. I actually missed some footage by not recording properly, and there's still at least probably another 3 or 4 minutes of real-time weed whipping that I missed in the front yard. So, and of course, That was when I acted all cool, like I was slinging the weed whip over my shoulder like a shotgun, and did all fancy ninja stuff, but that didn't get recorded. So right there I converted the weed whip into an edger just to experiment with it, keeping that guard down, trying to get as close to that cement as possible. And I don't know, I really like the way that it performed. You'll be seeing more of it in some future videos, but I think on the fly for less than $100, you can't go wrong. Why would you want to go with a gas-powered weed whip when you're doing anything other than commercial use? I mean, for private home use, it's perfect. It's lightweight. I just can pick it up and go for as little or as long as I want. And it's comfortable. I don't think I'll ever want to own a different kind of weed whip again. So that's that for the weed whipping. I'm doing just a quick panoramic view of the yard. I'm going to be doing this as I do more work. My tripod was catching a little bit of a snag there trying to rotate, but you can see all of the work that I have to do left in this yard. All of this just 2 to 3 years of overgrowth is not going to be fun. But once it's done, it'll be beautiful. So this time-lapse I shot just to try to use up some of the extra battery in my camera, and I just fell in love with the way it looked. I sped it up to about 6 times speed, 610% to be exact, and it's just beautiful to see these clouds roll in. My mom has a very, very beautiful piece of land out in the country, and scenes like this are not uncommon. So that's it for today. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope to bring more content like this in the near future, because this is what I've been spending my time doing. But, yeah. So feel free to find me over on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you know where to find me. And, yeah, I hope to see you all on the other side. Goodbye.